I do say this, beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down.
Donald Trump sometimes strikes me as like a kid in a fairy tale or a fantasy movie that if you close your eyes and you wish hard enough, it'll come true. And yesterday, during this interview that was conducted by Bret Baier that I've already talked about, Bret Baier comes to him with a comment from a voter, a question from a voter to the President of the United States, a lifelong North Carolina Republican, a woman named Regina Foley, voted for Donald Trump not once, not twice, but 3 times. A very Trumpian character, not an opponent of Donald Trump, not a naysayer, not a radical left lunatic Democrat, none of that. Lifelong Republican, voted for Donald Trump, saw the damage that Donald Trump did in his first term and voted for him again in 2020, and then saw all of the chaos from Donald Trump, all of the criminality, all of the indictments of Donald Trump, and voted for him again in 2024. This is a Trump person. And she is feeling the pain of the Trump economy, the high prices, the job losses. Like she's witnessing with her own pocketbook, she's experiencing the pains that Donald Trump has disseminated on the people of the United States and by extension, the globe. And Donald Trump's answer is, no, that's not happening. You're fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about that. Trust me that things are actually good. Prices are down. I know you're paying more at the pump. I know you're paying more for groceries. But that's not true. Actually, everything's great. Because if you close your eyes and wish hard enough, apparently, what you wish for comes true in the mind of our addled, demented moron of a president. Watch this remarkable moment from Donald Trump and Bret Baier during their weird stand-up interview.
You know, when we talked about this interview happening, we had people reach out from around the country. Regina Foley messaged me, and she says she is retired in Greensboro, North Carolina. She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times, but she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, "I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump." So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this, beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this, energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6-year lows now.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it.
I am convinced, I'm nearly convinced that what they do is Trump is like Neo in the Matrix where you lay back in the thing and they plug you in the back of the dome, and then they just upload information, because every time he's just got these preordained statements that he makes. Groceries, I think of groceries, you know, it's an old-fashioned, he goes with the same thing that he said over and over, that he's been mocked and derided over because it's a stupid thing to say. You think of groceries, an old-fashioned word. What are you talking about? Continuing to talk about it. But we've got prices way down, and think of this, energy. You do not have prices way down. There are a couple sectors in our economy that are doing okay, but largely things are not good. We just got a jobs report today that just in this year alone, 1 million corporate jobs lost. 153,000 just this last month in October. The worst job losses since October of 2003. 2003, 22 years, more than a generation ago. It's been more than a generation since we've seen this kind of thing. Here's MSNBC, not MSNBC. Here's CNBC talking about it. And there were several clips out there. CNN talked about it this morning. Fox News talked about it this morning. But CNBC is a financial news network. They are, even some of the people they have on their air right now are pro-Trump people. And there's nothing that they can say other than, oh shit, this does not portend good things for the American economy coming up when we are a generation removed from the kind of damage that's being done and the job losses. This is just the beginning. This isn't celebratory to talk about this. We just need to deal with the facts on the ground. We need to exist in reality and know that the reason that this is happening is because of the deleterious effects of Donald Trump's policies. All of any economist worth their salt, or whatever the saying is, knew that this was going to happen. This has been predicted. It has been foretold by the sage prophets, who are big-brained eggheads who understand the causal relationship between tariffs and some of the other policies that Donald Trump has put forth, including skyrocketing our national debt through paying off millionaires and billionaires with his tax cut. Watch CNBC sound the alarm.
About the health of the job market. Steve Leisman joins us with the latest numbers from Challenger on job cuts. What's going on?
Yeah, well, this is like a clue from like a cough or a sneeze or whatever. But announced corporate job cuts, Andrew, in the U.S. surging past 1 million so far this year, with 153,000 new layoffs announced just in October, according to Challenger. That is the worst October since 2003. Here are the numbers. October up 153. That compares with September. That's 100,000 more than September, and 100,000 more than this time last year in October 2024. Andy Challenger commenting, some industries are correcting after the hiring boom of the pandemic, but this comes as AI adoption, softening consumer and corporate spending, and rising costs drive belt tightening and hiring freezes. Announced layoffs don't always lead to actual cuts and could take place from attrition, but the report puts in perspective what we've been reporting here day after day, week after week. Series of marquee announcements unveiled in recent weeks across U.S. industries, including UPS, Amazon, Target, among others, Paramount, Rivian, all these companies there. Government has been responsible year to date for 308,000. But look at that, tech 141. That could be where you see a lot of the AI, maybe some in warehousing, but a big chunk of that's going to be UPS, as well as potentially some hit from reduced flows of trade. Retail's up there, as is services at 64,000. You take out the Doge cuts, the number's a bit better at 800,000, but still well above last year. Challenger doesn't see much in the way of hiring, saying announced plans are 35% below last year, and they're skeptical about the number of new hires for the holiday season.
Things are not looking good. Real people are losing their jobs. Families are struggling to pay for groceries, for their bills, for their rent and their mortgages because of the policies of Donald Trump. And when asked, what's he say? No, things are good. Things are better than they've ever been. He did a speech at like some business summit or some business conference yesterday where he was saying this same kind of thing. I'm not going to play a clip of it because it's just the same lies. It's just the same departure from reality that we can expect from the president of the United States now. When are Republicans, it seems like maybe they're starting to wake up. I don't know, obviously, this Regina Foley, but Regina, sister, what are you doing? This is your guy who's telling you the thing you're experiencing, you're not experiencing because groceries is an old-fashioned word. A retired lady who's very likely on some kind of a fixed income, certainly not living high on the hog if she's asking the questions about the pain she's feeling, not wildly wealthy where these kind of impacts don't crash down on her. And Donald Trump tells her, you're fine. Everything's fine. Just because things are fine for you, Donald Trump, doesn't mean they're fine for the rest of us. Anyway, what do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I will see you next time. Again, this is not news to celebrate. We should all be very aware of what is happening. I don't want to say afraid, but certainly cautious. I'll see you next time. Be genuine and take care. of one another.